Welcome back to another video. If you watched the last video, you would have seen I got as much assembled onto my motor as possible, and it is just patiently sitting here waiting. Has been a few busy weeks. Garage is still messy from the last video. Still got stuff sitting over there. Still got a dirty workbench from rebuilding the power steering pump, etc. The car is still here, just currently sitting. It is in between coats, so it will go back to work and get a 1200 flat wet rub all over and then re-cleared. Doors, bonnet, etc. will be back off, so there's no edges, but still super nice flat finish. But again, if gone to this much work, I'm gonna do it right, do it once. So still sitting here in between coats, but I am super excited to jump in once it's all painted. You know, get handles, mirrors, spoiler on, start making it look like a car again. But for the moment, I was thinking today I might jump into the bay, see if we can get the clutch and brake boosters in, wiper motor, maybe some AC lines, condenser. See how much we can get bolted back into the engine bay, just sort of while the car's sitting idle. But first of all, I'll have a bit of a clean up, dig some parts out, and then we'll dive in. Alright, quick cleanup, it'll do for now. Just going through a lot of the tubs that come with the car. I've got a lot of spares of the old stuff, just going through to see if there's anything I need to add. That's all my wiring, which I'll go through later. But just laid out what I want to try and get on in the meantime. Had my bonnet catch all painted, so it's fresh to go back on. Speedo blank, obviously deleting the Speedo cable because I will run the Haltech dash. Wiper motor, that was all vapor honed. I've got the cover for that all painted, brake booster, my horns, my AC. So a lot of this I sourced. I think the AC condenser came with it and perhaps some of the lines, but I never had a compressor. If you remember, I said I sourced a second-hand one. As far as I'm aware, it's working order, and I've got a new evaporator, if that's what you call it, that goes in under the dash. So I need to do all that at some other point when I do the heater core. So again, like I never had a heater core in it. Borderline full race car. Never had a heater core, never had AC. Want to try and put some of those creature comforts back in. So it'll be a true 850 wheel-ish street car. So full trim, etc. Aircon, heater, fast as all hell. Sourced a lot of this. I might end up having to put some heat shielding on some of the lines. I'm not too sure yet. But I want to give the condenser and the fan shroud a bit of a gurney off and a clean. I've got some caliper paint. I've used it before. It's quite thin. I might lightly dust that over it just to make it all fresh and black. AC drain for the firewall. Again, found it in the box of spare stuff. And the boosters that I said I wanted to get in. I've got the brake lines and my catch can. So I bought these little nylon washers basically to go under the guards. So because they're alloy guards from factory, they've got like little nylon washers or clips that go in both sides of the guards where the bolts go through. So some of them were broken, some were missing. There was only a few left, so I've got the nylon washers, but I also thought I might put them under things like the catch can in the engine bay when I remount it, sorry. So as it goes in here, I can put nylon washers underneath the rubbers, just to make sure they don't rub. But that's my thought process. I don't necessarily know if it's all going to work, but yeah, I'll start cleaning this stuff up and get it all on. My vertical lock bracket, which was powder coated from memory. So I've got a whole box of stuff that's been powder coated. I'm also slowly going through, trying to get some stuff on, but my power steering reservoir as well, which we modified a little while back just to bring it up a bit higher. So now it sits the same height as the radiator. It looks a lot neater. So that's another one of the things that I want to try and get in. So I'm just going to start grabbing things and bolting them on and see how far I get. Let's go. I totally forgot that this has to go in before the brake line starts. Oh well, I'll release that one and get this one in. Alright, master cylinder's back in for now. If you've never worked under the dash of a car, you're definitely not missing out. It is a pain in the back of a job actually, because you're literally laying upside down, trying to hold your mouth right, different sockets, different extensions, wobbly heads, etc. Anyway, masters are in. I just removed the speedo cable because I won't need it. So I do have this speedo ball blank. It is a Boostock brand one that I've had painted black. I've just removed the OE gasket off the old cable wall mount, so then I'll sit that behind there so it seals just with the new hardware. So I'll get this in, get this bolted up, and then I wouldn't mind getting the painted cover back on the wiper motor, getting that in the corner as well. Might start running brake lines. And like I said, just keep going, get as much done as what I can, see how far I get sort of thing, and start getting this thing together. Wiper motor back in. I'm still a little bit unsure about what to do with all my hardware. These are the old washer motor bolts. I mean, obviously I can go to the bolt shop and buy as close to the same as every bolt as possible. I've put Allen key ones in there for now. I mean, I don't hate it, but I'm not 100% convinced. Same as my guard bolts. Very hard to find the original style bolts. Basically, they're a bolt like this with a Phillips head, hex, spring washer, and then a washer. So I might even end up running Allen keys on the guards yet. I'm really unsure. Wiper motor's in for now. Happy with that. Put them to the side because I might still end up using them or getting them cleaned, or like I said, I'm really unsure. I can't put that on for now. We could do the brake booster, but I'm also thinking I might get all this stuff clean, give this a good hose off, and then I can try and get some black on it and get this in. While this is drying, try and get some of the bigger items in before I do the little fiddly stuff. So I might give this all a gurney off, and then while this is drying, we'll put them in. as you can see, a few more bits in here now. Just getting everything in as much as I can. I'm quite confident I can still run the wiring loom through here under the radiator support. I mean, I can always release things if I need to. You know, the power steering reservoir's only got 2 bolts in it, catch can, and coolant reservoir only got 2 bolts in it. So I'm quite confident I can still do that. AC stuff's all done. As you can see, it was quite dirty before. All nice and clean, quick coat of paint now. So I just gave it a good hose off and a blow off with the compressor. Caliper paint, like I said before, I had this laying around from the Laurel when I did the calipers on the Laurel. It's so thin, I just lightly sprayed a few coats on it. You can see it's still a bit thin down the bottom, but you can see where it's shiny. I just wanted to make it look a bit more fresh. So I want to get the fan assembly and stuff back in, get this all together, and hopefully sat in the front. Once that's in the front, I can think about putting on my vertical lock bracket, or center rad support, depending on where you are and what you want to call it, and then possibly the bonnet catch as well. I don't want to set the heights just yet because I haven't had the guards on the bonnet, might still need to move, but I'll worry about that later. We'll dive into this. Alright, so unfortunately I only have one of the rubbers to go on top of here. So as you might have just seen, I found 2 rubbers the same in my toolbox. They are too small, too big, sorry. So both sides move, which I'm not happy with. So I will have to try and find one of these at work. So I'll hold on to this. So those will be just temporary. But now we can fit the fan assembly. Might actually put a nylon washer behind them so they don't rub. Not necessary, just a little bit of protection in between every layer. I'm putting a longer bolt down here because I'm running out of the shorter ones. Only because I want to leave room for the loom behind here. Hopefully this one reaches. So like I said, nylon washers, not necessary. I'm only doing it for an extra bit of precaution. Extra layer of protection between everything. Just try and stop things rubbing. Everything will rub over time, but if I can prolong it for as long as I can, this car is just going to last so much longer. Nipped up firm. Alright, one more piece of the puzzle. Starting to look like a car. Hopefully I don't have to take that back out and I can still tuck that loom up underneath. But, I mean, worst case, like I said, I can release it. I've got to change the top 2 rubber mounts anyway. Alright, so I'm going to put my vertical lock bracket on. I will put my lock my lock mech on, then I can connect the cable and that should all work. Perfect. So positive I've got new ones of these somewhere. These will just do for now. So I'll screw these rubbers in just so it keeps a bit of weight on the bonnet and the bonnet's not jumping around. Get this vertical lock bracket on and get the bonnet mech all hooked up. And then it's just one more small piece all bolted together. Alright, so I just tried to put this on. I think there's just way too much powder coat on it, but mainly in the threads. So I can't get any of the bolts started. So what I've done, if you've never seen this done before, get an old bolt. I've just cut some grooves into it. I don't know if that'll... I've just cut 3 slits into the side of it. Basically, this is going to be a homemade tap and die. I'm just going to get these started and give them a few rattles with the rattle gun. Just clean out the holes as best as we can and then try and get this back on. Alright, shorter bolts. Once this is on the car, I'll probably put a little bit of lube or grease in around here just to help it continue to freely move. But at least it looks all fresh. So this was vapor blasted or soda blasted. So basically it went back to raw. So I either needed to zinc it or paint it. I think paint it, it'll just blend in. Once sort of the cover and everything's back all together, I think it'll be quite subtle. Alright, so it doesn't have any movement up and down. Little bit of movement to rock side or side. When I put the bonnet on, I did use self-centering bolts at the start to get it center. So I might just drop the bonnet, and if it's center now, I'll just lock it where it is. And then it should be pretty good for later. Alright, that will do for now. I can move it ever so slowly if I need to, but I'm quite happy with where that is. One more piece to the puzzle. I like the look of the Allen key bolts here. I think it all looks nice and clean. I'm not sure how it's going to look around the edges with a few other things. I'll probably get some new nuts for the tops of the coilovers. I mean, the rest of the hardware is probably going to be new anyway, so might as well replace them. But stoked with the way it's coming along. So obviously half catch can, half coolant reservoir, that is in. I wouldn't mind remaking the drain line and mounting the tap down on the rail. So it does have a tap, but it was only zip tied before. So if I can get that tap nut inserted or mounted so it's easily to access. But I'm hoping not to have to drain the catch can too much now with the baffles and everything like that. But obviously that's all in, this is in. Not too sure if I like the way those heater lines look I know they're factory, but I mean, if it was an inch shorter and an inch lower, it'd probably pull it a bit tighter and look a bit neater. But all in, I am still waiting on a few things, and I've got a few ideas to start on. I do have braided line and fittings to go in the power steering, so I do still have to make braided power steering lines that will come around up to the res, to the pump, etc. I do still have to do my heater core. I still have to do my heater core and my AC. So I do have an AC unit I sourced from Japan. That's here. I just need to fit it into the fan box and get that under the dash. Like I said before, it never had a heater, but I've sourced one of them as well. I believe R33 is the same with all the research that I did. So I've sourced an R33 one. So both of them are still going to go through the dash. Obviously then they'll poke through the firewall there. I can start thinking about AC lines to run along the rail, whether I'm going to cover them heat shrink, etc. I do have new clips for the firewall for the loom. I'm pretty sure I've got new clips for the brake line as well, but I will have to try and find that. But that'll probably be it for this video. I do still need to sort out all my wiring. I'm going to move the car over now for two reasons. One, I want to lay out all the wiring sort of parallel to the car, unwrap it, start cleaning it up, work out what I don't need, what I want to add into the loom, and either re-wrap it or cover it in braid. I really want to cover it in braid, but I've never played with braid before. Don't know how I'm going to do it, whether I've got to remove all the plugs or whatnot, but I guess I'll find out. Reason number two is we're getting a new car. So one of our cars is going to go, served its purpose, and we're getting a new car, so that's all very exciting, which you'll probably see in the next video. I'm pretty excited about it. Mrs. is very excited about it. It should be good. Should be cool. Should be nice. Should be different. But you'll see that in the next video. Thanks for watching. See ya. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. But I have just had a special delivery come this week while I've been editing the video. So huge thank you to Jordan from Fitmint Automotive. He makes a lot of replacement parts or restoration parts for GTRs and a lot of other models. I've already got a lot of his parts ready to go on this car as it continues to go together. But this here is a brand new product that he's just finished, and it's not even on his website yet. I've been talking to him about it for a little while, but this is his R32 firewall insulator. So I know not all GTRs have these, but it's just a piece that I wanted to make my car more complete. When the car was going back together last time, the engine and or the head drain had scratched the firewall a little bit. And I think this is just a nice little piece to put on there in case that happens again, and or just to make it look more tidy. So I'm going to quickly put this on before I close out the video.